So Audi didn't just update the new A3. They came back with a point to prove. So they now set the standard for entry-level cars. But at what cost? You and I are about to find out. So here's what I've noticed lately. Car manufacturers have been updating models without any real pressure from us as consumers. You just wake up one day and boom, there's a new facelift or an entire new version, and you're left thinking, oh, okay. And Audi did exactly that. The new and refreshed Audi A3 arrives as the 2025 model, and at first glance, it may seem like subtle updates, but I think there's more than what meets the eye. So let's look at the car from the front and see what actually changed. So in front, it might look familiar if you've spent time around the previous model. You'll notice the face has definitely sharpened up a bit. The grille is now flatter and wider with a more angular shape than before. So it sits a bit lower, which gives the front end a more planted nyana type of look. So they didn't completely reinvent it, but these are subtle design tweaks that help modernize the look without completely losing the A3's identity. You'll also notice the air intakes on the sides, they're a bit bigger, almost like they stretched out a bit more. So it's likely Audi went this route to give the A3 a bit more presence on the road, especially since compact sedans are competing very hard for attention in this day and age. And then there's the lighting. So the new LED lights still look sharp. You know, it's got that arrow-like feel to it now. And not only does it look cleaner at night, but it also gives the car a more serious, focused expression even when it's parked, even when you're just looking at it. So these changes aren't really drastic, and I'd say it's actually a good thing, because sometimes when a facelift goes too far, it can make owners from the previous model feel like they've missed out, or like the car just became outdated overnight. But Audi's done really well here. The updates are subtle enough that if you own a pre-facelift, you won't be regretting your purchase, but you'll also be excited enough to look forward to the new one. I think it's a delicate balance. So now let's move over to the back design. So I've always leaned more towards the A3 Sportback, and I think maybe it's just that deep-rooted connection with how the A3 originally started. Going for a sedan almost feels like I'd be cheating the hatchback's legacy. You know what I'm saying? But this latest one, I don't know, something about it that's slowly pulling me in. I mean, there's a new LED signature that's way more eye-catching than before, and that zigzag light pattern also helps it stand out, especially at night. Then there's the rear diffuser area. It's been completely reshaped. The styling now has more depth and contrast, especially the black inserts at the bottom corners. So Audi could have played it safe, but they added some proper visual character back there. And I think that's why I'm warming up to it. It now feels like the rear design completes the car rather than just being a part that you never really thought about. So no, it's not a dramatic redesign, but like the front, the changes, they do make a difference, especially when you start paying close attention to them. All right, let's go inside. Come in. When you get inside the A3, you immediately met with a clean driver-focused layout. So the flat-bottom steering wheel is what grabbed my attention at first, to be honest, because it's wrapped in this perforated leather with detailed white stitching and an S badging at the base. So the center console is angled slightly towards the driver, featuring a 10.1-inch touchscreen that blends into the black dashboard. So the tricky thing will be using it, you'll need to have a cloth in the car because it's a full touchscreen and you'll have fingerprint marks after using it for quite some time. So they've kept the minimalistic but high quality cabin design theme. They have these soft touch materials with matte gray tone that runs through the dash and the sides as well. So there's a mix of gloss black and metallic accents throughout, and it feels proper premium. So these seats you're looking at here are Audi sports seat inspired by the S-Line range. So you've got this textured cloth running through the middle. Then on the sides, it's leather. And at the top, it's embossed. It has this embossed S logo stamped on the back seat. Now, in terms of comfort, they've actually hit a really good balance. So the bolsters on the sides are raised just enough to hold you in place, so your back stays supported even when you're taking on tighter corners or maybe even curves. But at the same time, it's not too aggressive. It doesn't feel like the seat is trying to squeeze you. And underneath, the seat base is wide and it's cushioned enough to support your legs and your back as well, your behind as well. So you don't sink in too deep, and it's firm enough to keep your posture upright, which is exactly what you would need, especially for a long drive. On the side, you've got a strong shoulder line that runs all the way from the headlights to the taillights. The doors are full frames as expected in a sedan. The gloss black detailing around the windows, and that's where the engine spec is now placed. So the wheel arches are neatly filled up by those 18-inch large alloys. And there's something that I really want to highlight, which is the side detailing, the lower detailing trim right over here. So they added some side skirts which complement the S-line body kit for that sporty edge type of feel. I mean, it's subtle, but it actually does make a difference in the overall look. And I noticed this when I was just capturing a couple of pictures. And then let's talk about this wrap. Audi Center Polokwane did the most with this one. I mean, the red, black and white stripping just works. And honestly, people were actually giving me a lot of compliments when I was driving this car. They even had to ask where, how, who, when. And that goes to show that no, this is definitely top tier. And while it may look compact from the side, the A3 gives you 425 liters of boot space, and that's enough room for groceries, weekend bags. Plus, we know sedans have always reigned supreme for having great boot space. So how does it feel to drive? Firstly, in a time where car brands are going for that one big curved screen across the dash, like what you'd see in most manufacturers these days, I'm actually thoroughly impressed by Audi still keeping it old school, but not making it feel like there's a huge disconnect, right? So in this A3, even though the screens are not joined together like a curved display, they're placed in a way that makes everything feels like it still belongs together. I mean, you don't really feel the gap between the screens. The way Audi laid things out makes it feel natural and easy to work with both screens. And that's actually something for you as a driver. I mean, it helps you focus better, feel more in control and more at ease, like everything is working as one, instead of your attention jumping between different parts of the dashboard. You understand? Sharp. So the combination of both screens feels seamless, but the problem is the digital cockpit display. It feels a bit too digital. I mean, compared to something like the digital cluster of the A4 Quattro and how that looks. I mean, the crisp white dials, the deep red accents, everything just popped up and gave it a sharp premium feel. It felt like a digital display that still respected the analog roots as well. So with this one, oh man, I feel like the shapes feel more like software widgets than driving instruments. You know, there's no layering, no glow, no Audiness to it. It just shows you driving data, you know, and I think that's something that really bothers me. But as for how it drives, so the car is powered by a 1.4 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It produces 110 kilowatts and 250 newton meters of torque, and it's paired with a 7-speed S-tronic gearbox. Now, what that means in real life or in real life driving experience is you're going to get a decent punch when you put your foot down on the accelerator. I mean, it's not widely aggressive, but it pulls confidently when you need it to, whether you are overtaking or maybe just cruising up an incline. So the A3 is not trying to be a performance monster, but it's not sluggish either. So it delivers just the right amount of response for daily drivers, for daily driving, with a balance of refinement and light sportiness as well. So if you're looking for something that gives you that premium feel, but still keeps things sensible on fuel and comfort, then this engine will definitely tick those boxes for you. So some of its drive assist features includes Audi Pre-Sense in front, which monitors the road ahead, warning you of potential collisions and applying emergency brakes if necessary. You also get lane departure warning, which helps you by alerting you if you unintentionally steer out of your lane. So for long distance, of course, you get adaptive cruise control, which maintains a safe distance from the vehicle ahead and assists with steering to keep you centered in your lane. You also get this really cool blind spot monitoring, which ensures you are aware of vehicles in your blind spots. And I like this one because it beeps this orange light that you cannot miss. So one of my favorite features is this Sonos sound system. So Audi has teamed up with Sonos to bring their premium audio experience in the A3, and I must say it's really impressive. And what's remarkable is how Sonos, which they're known for their home audio system, has managed to replicate that rich room-filling sound inside this car. I mean, you get that 3D sound technology that creates a spacious audio environment, making it feel like you're in the middle of a live performance. So it's so clear, especially when you're playing live songs, that you'll end up feeling like you owe the artist something, like a ticket fee. Because I almost tapped my card at the dashboard mid-song, like saying thanks for the performance. That's how it made me feel. And I mean, considering the fact that this level of audio quality was previously reserved for Audi's high-end models, now even the A3, you get this top-tier sound experience as part of the package. So if you are a person that values exceptional in-ear audio, then this Sonos sound system in this A3 is definitely going to be something that you'll enjoy. Okay, so let's look at the price. The Audi A3 Sedan 35 TFSI S-Line is priced at 823,200 rands. So if you finance it for 5 years with zero deposit at 12% interest, you'd pay around 18,316 rands. And then when you include fuel costs, I mean, it has a 50-liter fuel tank capacity, and with the petrol price at around 22 rands per liter, filling up the tank would cost you approximately 1,100 rands. And the vehicle's fuel efficiency is rated at 5.8 liters per 100 kilometers, which allows for a range of about 860 kilometers on a full tank, which I think is actually pretty good. And then when you include insurance, I mean, obviously insurance premiums vary based on an individual's risk profiles, but you're looking at about 2,500 rands per month. So you'll get a total cost for your car's monthly appetite to round off to 22,000 rands. And you also do get a maintenance plan, and the price includes a 5-year, 100,000 kilometers maintenance plan covering standard service costs during this period. So one thing that has caused serious uproar around this 2025 Audi A3 is the price. I mean, with over 800,000 to start, it's a lot, especially for a car with a 1.4 liter engine and still sits in the Audi so-called entry level segment. And listen, I agree with everyone who says that's steep. It's not even up for debate. It is, truly. Now, Audi has done something great here. They've set a new standard for entry-level luxury. I mean, the car doesn't feel stripped down. You get the S-Line package, a panoramic sunroof, proper modern features, and that's straight out the gate, which is something I've always felt luxury brands needed to get right. Because walking into a premium dealership and still having to add 200,000 worth of extras just to get basic comfort features, I mean, that's wild. But even though Audi fixed that, it still doesn't change the fact that over 800,000 for a car like this is just a lot. It's going to make it very, very difficult for us to try and really justify why it gets to this point, especially considering what the other competitors are doing with the pricing of their cars. No matter how well it's spec'd, it's still going to be very, very tricky. But the fact that they were able to bring an entry-level car and spec it really, really good, I give them a thumbs up for that. So other updates include customizable daytime run lights with different LED patterns you can actually switch between. And then there's the redesigned gear selector. I mean, it's smaller, it's cleaner, and it's still easy to use. You also get Audi's added customizable ambient lighting where you can set the mood, obviously depending on how you feel that particular day. And probably the biggest win is the S-Line package now that comes standard. I mean, that means sportier styling, premium seats, and more presence without ticking a single extra box, like this illuminated S-Line door, and this Audi logo puddle-like projection from the door. So you get that too. So yeah, that's where I'm leaving it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Audi Center Polokwane for allowing me to review this Audi. I'll definitely leave their website details, and let me know what you think of this A3. They changed the game when it comes to entry level, but at what costs? But also don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, so when I drop the next video, you're the first to watch. You'll see me on the next one. Until then,